know that there's nothing transpiring in your life that God cannot, will not take care of and will not handle for you if you believe it. All you got to do is believe it. There's nothing too hard that he cannot and will not work out. No matter what you're going through, no matter what the enemy is trying to make happen or transpire in your life, there's nothing that God cannot work out on your behalf. I'm excited because I'm just, I just been really thinking and anticipating and just getting ready for what God is doing in such a time as this, how he is moving and how he is opening up doors and how he is continuing to make ways out of no way. I had the opportunity on last week to travel to New York and to pick up another piece of the business that we are in, my partner and I, and we was just traveling, and seemed like every time we try to start doing something, the enemy gets busy. Ain't that right? He was trying to make it to the airport, and I was already there, and he was trying to get there. And we were both traveling in the same direction, and I came through, and there was no traffic. He came through, and he said, man, traffic was everywhere. About 5 minutes later, he came through, and he was like, man, traffic was just everywhere. And so he gets to the airport, and he's running, he's a pretty big guy, so he's running through the airport trying to make the plane, and he gets right there at the door. Right at the door. They had not closed the door on the plane. So if you're right there and they haven't closed the door and you don't have a carrier, you don't have a bag to be checked, usually they'll let you on the plane. Am I right? But he got right there at the door, and the guy called on the walkie-talkie and asked the guy, because I'm looking at the guy standing in the door. I'm looking at him. He asked him, has the door been closed? And that guy refused to answer him until he got off the plane, closed the door, and then he answered him. Sometimes the enemy is fighting you so difficult, with such difficulty, until he think if he can get that door closed on you to where you can't get through that door, that another door is not going to be open in your favor. Even though you might be delayed, but it's one thing that I want you to know, that you will not be denied nothing that God has in store for you. You will not be denied. Look at somebody real quick and tell them, say, I will not be denied of any of the blessings that God has set on my behalf. Oh, I wish I had some help right there. Because you see, the enemy trying to make it seem like because the door been closed, that it's all said and done. But even after the door was closed, God was still working. And God and the man told him, said, that's all right. He said, I'm going to get you on another flight. So that's all right. That door been closed. But I want you to know that God's going to get you on another flight. God's going to get you on another one. And it's not going to cost you nothing. Look at somebody real quick and say, this one ain't gonna cost me nothing. Oh, I wish I had some help. I wish I had some help. I wish I had some help right there, right there, right there. All you got to do is believe, because this is not going to cost you. You know, most of the time when you miss your flight, they want to charge you a little extra. But the guy looked at him and said, this ain't going to cost you nothing. He said, I'm going to set you up, and it's not going to cost you a dime. I wish I had some help in this house. God say, the enemy been working with you. The enemy been messing with you. But this is not going to cost you nothing. If you really believe it and you really don't understand it, God say, I'm going to throw some things on in there. On your behalf, I'm going to throw it in. I know Bishop won't mind this morning, but I'm going to use his phrase. Somebody needs to just get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, because God is opening up some doors on your behalf. Get ready, get ready. I know things don't look right, but get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. And before you sit down, look at somebody real quick and tell them, say, get ready. And in your getting ready, know this one thing. Tell them, say, know this one thing. It's time to go to work. Because when in your getting ready, you got to know that it's time to go to work. Hallelujah. I'm excited this morning about what God is doing. I'm really excited about what God is doing. I wish I had about 25, 30 people that was really excited about what God is doing. I ain't got to have a whole lot. I just need about 25, 30 people. Hallelujah. That's really excited about what God is doing. Because you see, David had 600 fighting men. I want y'all to catch this right quick. Don't play nothing right there. David had about 600 fighting men. But he had about 39 that was devastated. Y'all ain't gonna help me here. He had about 39 men that was devastated. Men that was stepping somewhere, and when they stepped in the room, the devil knew they were there. He had some men he had one man that jumped in a hole with nothing in his hand and took a man's sword and cut off his head, took a giant sword and cut off his head. He had a man that stepped out to the field and all the army left him. One man took a sword and killed over 1,000 men with one sword. All I need is about 35, 40 folks that's ready to go to work. Can I get about 25, 30 people that's ready to go to work? That's all I need. That's all I need. I don't need a whole lot. I'm not asking for a whole lot. I need about 25 or 30 people that's ready to go to work. Turn to somebody real quick and tell them, say, I'm ready to go to work. Y'all sit down, y'all sit down. Y'all sit down and go ahead on and continue getting dressed, because we getting ready to go to work. Come on, point your finger up here right quick and say, Pastor, go to work. Oh, I'm glad you said that. Huh? I'm going to go to work. Because it's time to go to work. You know? So when you get up in the morning and you start dressing yourself, could I get some glasses? And you start dressing yourself. You don't get up at 5 o'clock in the morning just because it makes you feel good. You don't drag yourself out the bed, reaching over, hitting the alarm clock, just because it make you feel good. But when you get up and you drag yourself out of the bed and you force yourself into the shower because that's the only thing that's going to help you. Oh, no, not them. Get some more. Yeah, leave them right there. Yeah. Them other ones belong to my baby daughter. She's blind. I'm semi-blind. She blind. Okay. And when you start you throw yourself into the shower and you start trying to collect yourself, sometimes it take a minute to kind of get yourself together, and I don't know how long it has taken you to get yourself. Maybe you've been in the church 25 years and you're still trying to get yourself together. Oh, y'all ain't going to help me this morning. Or maybe you've been here 30 years and you're still in the shower trying to collect your thoughts and get yourself together. But that don't make no difference right now. I'm talking about right now. I'm not talking about what you did 25 years ago, but I'm talking about right now. I want you to know right now that it's time to go to work. So what I need, this is what I need. I need you to go ahead and throw yourself in the shower. Let that water hit your face. Because there's something about that water hitting your face that bring you together, that help you to collect your thoughts. And when you get yourself together, you come out the shower, you're feeling brand new. Now, I don't care what time you may have laid down. It's just something about that water hitting you in your... Don't take no bath. Take a shower. Because if you take a bath, you're going back to bed. Because baths relax you. But showers wake you up. Am I right about it? Maybe you don't comprehend that, but see, I was a trucker. And what we would do is, when we would be driving a long number of hours, we would stop by the truck stop, get us some fuel, and we would take ourselves a shower. Because we would be dead tired. We'd take us a shower, and we didn't have but a few hours left to run. We could run them few hours fully alert. Because it was just something about that water hitting you in your face and smelling that fresh aroma of soap all around you that woke you up and made you ready to do whatever you had to do for that day. So what we would do, we would take us a good old hot shower, and we jump back in that truck ready to go to work. I don't know what all you have to do in order for you to be prepared to go to work. Now, it's a known fact that women have more to do than men, because I don't put on no makeup. Matter of fact, I don't even have a comb. I do this. Okay? And I wash my face, brush my teeth. I'm good. But they have a lot more stuff to do in order to get prepared to go to work. Somebody go get this in a few minutes. But when you are working on God's program, sometime you've been picked out. And when you've been picked out, you have a lot more to do in order to get prepared to go to work. Now, don't get mad at Brother Jimmy over there or Brother Johnny because they didn't have to do as much as Sister Sarah over there or Sister Bluedale over there had to do in order to go to work. But just know this one thing, that we're both serving and working for the same purpose. And just because you had to do a little bit more in order to get ready to go to work than they had to do over here, but just know that we're all getting ready to go to work. So, in us getting ready to go to work, just in case you haven't noticed, that it's time to go to work is my subject, okay? And my scriptures are coming from St. Luke, the 2nd chapter, the 41 through the 52nd verse. But I'm going to start reading at the 46th verse. And I'm not going to read all of the scriptures simply because we all know the story of Jesus and his time that he spent in the temple and his mother and father looking for him. St. Luke, the 46th chapter and the 52nd verse. I'm reading from the HCSB. I just kind of like that book. I like that Bible real well. You know, I love the King James, but I just like the way the HCSB kind of states it, brings it down to today's terminologies. It makes it a little more understandable for those who don't really understand the Bible as they would like to. After 3 days, they found him in the temple complex sitting among the teachers. Note this. He wasn't sitting among people that was not doing nothing. He was sitting among teachers. Get this. He was sitting among teachers, people that was educated, had a profession. They was just not anybody, they was somebodies. So Jesus was sitting among them, listening to them and asking them questions. And all those who heard him were astonished at his understanding and his answers. So it's apparent that he was asking them questions, but they was also asking him questions, because it says they was astonished at his understanding of what they were saying and the answers that he gave from the questions that they asked. Okay? So now they was astonished. And his parents didn't fully understand what was really transpiring. So by them being parents, they did what parents do. It says, when his parents saw him, they was astonished. And his mother said to him, son. Now they was astonished in another way. While the teachers was astonished in one way, the parents was astonished in another way. And they said to him, son, why have you treated us like this? They want to know, son, why you putting us through this? We've been looking for you, man. Why you wasn't where you should have been? See, people looking for you right now. But what they don't understand, you are not where you used to be. Because I've comprehended something that it's time for me to go to work. So since it's time for me to go to work, if you go by my house at the time it is for me to go to work, I'm not going to be there because why? I have gone to work. Oh, I wish I had some help right here. You know, time ain't going to permit me to really talk to you the way I want to talk to you, but we're going to try anyway, and we're going to say what we can, and then we'll come back next week. We can try to say a little more, whatever that transpires, you know. So he said, son, why have you treated us this way? Your father and I, not just me, but your father and I, your daddy, and I have been searching anxiously for you. Why are you searching for me? You know, then Jesus looks at him and he say, why are you searching for me? You know, he's just as amazed as they are. But he's amazed in another way. They are like, you treating us bad because we parents and we thought you were with the caravan and we've been looking for you because you are a child and we ain't seen you in the last 3 days. And you may have us thinking that you've been kidnapped, somebody done killed you. We don't know what to think. And Jesus looked at him and say, why you been looking for me? You know, if you go by my house and I'm not at home and you know it's time for me to go to work, why you get nervous, get upset? That's my work time. So if you want to really find me, go to my job. I wish I had something right there. If you really want to find me, go to my job. But if you don't really want to find me, and if you're just going through the motion and you're going through an act, then you're not really trying to find me, because if you were really wanting to find me, then you had to know I had to be at work. If you really know me, know the type of person I am, know that for the last 20 years, I haven't missed one day of work. Y'all ain't gonna help me here. Know for the last 25 years, I've never been late. Know for the last 25 years, I haven't taken a sick day. So then you have to know that if he ain't at home, he is at work. That's when you know me. But if you don't know me, look at somebody and say, you don't even know me. Oh, yeah, you don't know me. You acting like you know me. You're going through the motion that you know me. But if you really knew me, you never would have even turned your vehicle towards my house at work time. Because you would have automatically knew, no, they at work. If they are alive, they are at work. I wish I had some help right there. Now, some people that you know during work time, they not at work because they procrastinate. They choosing to lay out. Now, some of us are choosing to not really go to work. We're choosing to lay out and expect to get a check. When we know we have no vacation time left, we have no sick leave left, we have no more personal days left, but yet and still we want to get a check. Oh, I wish I had some help right there. But he said, why you been looking for me? He asked them, didn't you know? Do you know me? Do you really know Danny Lambert? Now, my wife know Danny Lambert. And she know when it's time for me to go to work, if I don't crawl out that bed, something's seriously wrong. Because she know Danny Lambert. Okay? Now, if you really know that person, then he says, why wasn't you looking for me where you knew I should have been? And you wouldn't have lost 3 days. Come on, somebody. You would not have wasted 3 days if you'd have been looking for me at work. That's the reason why I say it's time to go to work. And say, no, we don't need to waste no time looking for you because we should already know you at work. Am I right? So he says, didn't you know that I had to be about my father's? That I had to be in my father's house? But they did not understand what he said to them. Then he went down with them and came to Nazareth and was obedient to them. His mother kept all these things in her heart. And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. It was 3 things that took place there. It said he increased in wisdom and stature. Meaning he did not only grow in the spiritual, but he grew in the natural. Okay? He grew up in stature. And he grew smarter in the mindset. Now, in some kind of way, you should be growing, getting prepared to go to work. Because that's part of your getting dressed to go to work. Okay? So Jesus, he said, hey, now look, it's time for me to go to work. But I'm going to be obedient to you for a little while longer. Because I know that there are certain laws and certain things that we have to be governed by. And I know that I can't really fully take on this responsibility until I'm 13. But after that, then you got to know that it's time for me to go to work. So I'm getting you prepared for the next year. What's getting ready to transpire. And what I'm doing for you guys is I'm getting you prepared for the next duration of time for new beginnings that is taking place. That it's time for us to go to work. Now maybe you've been sitting around complacent and thinking that this'll do or that'll do or this is enough. But all I want, look at somebody and say, oh, Pastor won't. All I want is about 25 to 30 people that's ready to go to work. Now, I'm not saying that's all going to be here at New Beginnings, but what I am saying is I need some people that's wanting to be faithful and that's willing to go to work. So let's examine for a few minutes here Jesus' reaction, and then we're going to be ready to close. Okay, we're going to examine just for a few minutes Jesus' reaction. Now, when Jesus saw Mary and Joseph, I'm going to say Miss Mary and Mr. Joseph, when Jesus saw them, he had compassion on them because he realized that these are my parents. And I know they are worried about me. So I'm going to show some understanding here. And I'm going to try to help them to understand where I'm at and where they need to be. And what I need to do is I need to help you to understand where I'm at and where you need to be. Can I get some help right there? Because you see, my mindset is that it's time for me to be about my Father's business. And your mindset should be, I need to help him to be about his Father's business. Not trying to stop him from being about his Father's business, but to help undergird him and to push him into being about his Father's business. So even though I don't know exactly what needs to be done, I need to look in and to see what kind of work is taking place. If I can look in and see that what kind of work is taking place, then I can find my place on the line. If I look in and see that they got an assembly line going, okay, I look in and see that they got an assembly line going. I need to see what's on the assembly line. Is it chips? Is it drinks? Huh? Are they putting together parts for cars? If they putting together parts for a car, I need to find a part that I can put on. And say, I'm going to put on the starters. Somebody else put in the motors. But I'm going to concentrate on putting on the tires because that's part of the assembly line. I wish I had some help right there. Everybody can't put the motor in. Somebody got to put the motor. Somebody got to put the tire. Somebody got to set the frame on. Somebody got to put in the steering wheel. Everybody got a part that they can play on this assembly line. Now, I know that they say the heart of the car is the motor. If you get a good motor and a transmission, you got yourself something. All the other stuff can be worked on. You can get away with it. But you have to understand that everything else is just as important as the motor. So don't think because you're not putting the motor in and you're putting on the tires that your job is not important. In other words, don't think just because you're standing at the door greeting people and I'm standing up here preaching that your job greeting the people is not just as important as my job standing up here ministering to the people. We won't have nobody to minister to if you turn them around at the door. I wish I had some help right here. Your attitude at the door is going to help me to minister to the people when I stand on the floor. I wish I had some help right now. So know this one thing, that everybody got a ministry, and everybody play a part. Huh? Everybody got a ministry, and everybody play a part. I can't do it all. I'm not going to try to do it all. That's the reason why God has placed you here, to help me to do what he has called and ordained me to do. So if he sent you here, he means he has called and ordained you too. Somebody didn't get that. Because you're too busy wanting me to put my hand behind my ear and to tickle your ears to make you run up and down this aisle. Okay? But you got to know that in going to work, sometimes you got to stand flat-footed. Get yourself a position and learn how to work on that assembly line with less motion as possible. Oh, y'all ain't gonna go with me. See, am I right, Brother Dave? Brother Dave worked on assembly line. He was over there at that place where they work on them cars, putting them cars together. So he worked on assembly line. So when you are working on the assembly line, the less amount of walking you can do is better. Am I right? So when you're working on the assembly line, you gotta find a way to where you can mostly get everything in quick motion. So everything got to be in reach. Oh, y'all ain't going to go with me. If everything is in reach, then you can do your job a lot faster. Now, when you're learning the assembly line, you do a whole lot more walking than you did before you've been there a few months. But after you've been there a few months, you should have learned how to set up and position your tires in the right place. And when that car come down that assembly line, you got your nuts and bolts over here. And you got your tires right here. And all you're doing is putting on the tires. Oh, y'all ain't gonna help me here. So when that car come down that assembly line, you got your tires right here, and you got your nuts and bolts right here. And I wish I had some help right here. And now you got your impact wrench right there. And so everything is right in one motion. And you got the right stance. You got the right position. And when the car comes down the assembly line, you reach over, grab the tire, put the tire on, reach over, grab your nuts, put your nuts and bolts on, reach over, grab your impact, and you tighten your nuts and bolts up, and you never ever really get out of your position. Why? Because you've learned how to place yourself in the right place in order to do the job that needs to be done. Now, when you are studying and seeking God, and you are asking God, what is it that you want me to do? then God knows how to put you in the right position in order for you to do the work, to do the job that you have to do. Now, when I first started, my tires was over here. My nuts and bolts was over here. And my impact wrench was up here. And when the car come down the assembly line, I got to run over to get my tire and put it on. Then I got to run over and get my nuts and bolts and to put them on. And by the time I get my impact wrench, the assembly line already gone. So now I done missed out on doing part of my job. Oh, y'all ain't gonna go with me. Huh? But you got to learn how to do your job. That doesn't mean you're gonna learn overnight, but you learn how to do your job. Don't worry about my job. Learn how to do your job. And when you learn how to do your job, then everything come together. And when the car get down to be inspected, the inspector don't come through and see that your job was not done. Because why? The tires are still loose. When your job is not done, that means when they start the car up, the motor starts to shake. Because something didn't get tightened on the motor. But what you need to know and to understand, that when you get ready to go to work, you gotta be prepared to go to work. And if you are preparing yourself to go to work, then you have to understand when they come to you, you got to help them to understand that I am doing my job. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get ready to close. I gotta close. I'm already on overtime. Look at somebody and tell them, he on overtime. And you know these companies don't like to pay overtime. They have zero tolerance for overtime. We're trying to cut out all overtime. Because overtime means more money. But see, what God like overtime. He don't mind paying overtime. Huh? But see, I gotta hurry up. Because y'all don't want no overtime. And I don't either. Okay? So now, what we have is when the car get down to be inspected, and the inspector looks at the car, he needs to be able to put a check mark on this car and say, well done, a good job. These people right here know their job, know what they doing, and it's telling off in their product. Oh, y'all ain't gonna go with me. Somebody didn't get that right there. You know what I'm saying? So when you are doing your job, you might not be recognized for putting on the tire. You might not be recognized for doing the paint job. You might not be recognized for putting the motor in. You might not been the one that put the lights in the car. But when that car is finished and you look out there, you do know that they got to recognize that you was a part of that car finished product. Now, my name may not be on the car, but then you got to recognize that if I hadn't put the tires on the car, you wouldn't be able to roll nowhere. For all of us play a major part in what God is getting ready to do in this ministry. I want to say that one more time. All of us play a major part in every dynamic of what's getting ready to transpire in this ministry. You got a job to be done. Even if it's after the assembly line done went by, there's still some work got to be done. because you got to get prepared for the next crew coming in. So everything has to be cleaned up. The floor got to be swept. All the debris got to be gotten out of the way, because you can't be walking over stuff, because if you're walking over stuff, you could hurt yourself. Somebody done hurt themselves trying to walk over some stuff that the enemy done put in their lives. They trying to walk over it. You can't walk over it, baby. Let God move it out of the way. I wish I had time to preach this like I really feel it. Huh? Yeah, we're going to have to revisit this. Because you got to know that you know God done told you it's time to go to work. Look at somebody real quick and tell them, say, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. I've been sitting on the seat long enough. I've been sitting idle long enough. Maybe I can't sing, but I can pray. Maybe I can't preach, but I do have some words to say. If I just can stand on the door and tell you that I'm glad to see you this morning with a smile on my face, then I have to know that I know that I am a part of this ministry. I am a part of the assembly line, and God is using me in this house. Everyone stand. I gotta close. I gotta quit. I gotta quit. Hallelujah. But maybe you're still trying to find your place. And you're saying that, well, Lord, I've been praying. I've been seeking you, Lord. I really haven't fully understood what you want me to do. Then I want to say to you this morning, and I want to say to you out there on Facebook and YouTube, or however you might be connecting to New Beginnings, that there is always a place in the work that God wants you to do. Maybe you might not like the place, but if you start working, you will get promoted. So all you have to do is to find something that you can do. Even if it's only sweeping the floor or standing at the door before everybody else get here and greeting the people as they come through the door. Your smile might determine whether or not somebody stays here at New Beginnings. Your smile could be the smile that they was looking for. The love that you show them could be the love that they haven't seen in a number of years. Hallelujah. So you have to know that you have a place on God's program. And so while you're seeking and asking God what you should do, find yourself something to do. And while you're asking God what you should do, He will promote you to another level. God bless you, and we love you. And remember, New Beginnings is praying for you. Hallelujah.